The classic metal show. That sounds very familiar. Very suspicious. Very Predator-like. Anyway, Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators, and to catch a predator, I'm going to need everybody to have a seat because I've been going through some transcripts in a recent Predator case involving teachers, and I just need you to know that I'll be submitting those cases to Judge Aiken for a ruling, all right? So in the meantime, behave yourselves, and remember, I'll be watching. Oh, and hail and kill. All right, take care.
So I want to go back to the apology thing. I'm going to change topics because everybody's now off into the white shadow and shit like that. It's like, all right, stop.
All right, Jennifer, next topic.
Next topic is kind of relates off of the apology thing. So have you heard about this baseball player that got kicked off his team because he shared a Christian video?
Yeah, and then he went back and apologized for it.
Yes, he apologized, and then he got kicked off his team. Dumb shit.
So he paid the price regardless.
Again, paying the price. But I watched this show. It's a YouTube show, or a YouTube thing called
Is that Sports Cleveland?
No, it's definitely not that.
What is the name of that show with Cleveland?
The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Yeah, that's an awesome show.
It's fucking junk.
They got great production, great people.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. A year and a half later, it still stinks.
It's a great show. It's right up to
No.
the Seth Williams show as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it ain't.
Great production, great audiences, great input.
That's right. It's fantastic. Well, this one is called Sports Wars. And I like it because these guys are like us. They just don't give a fuck. And they took this pitcher guy to task for apologizing.
Yeah, he should have never apologized.
Should have never apologized.
He stood up, and he was well thought out in his process, because obviously he threw in his religious bent as far as, his morals were concerned, or why he believes the way that he does.
Yeah. And
instead of just backing that up and saying, this is where I stand, he went, well, after thought about it, then I decided that, I needed to get with my teammates, and I needed to, appreciate where they're coming from. And it's like, oh, dude,
you're so fired now. Because basically you're saying, yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to me. Bend me over and fuck me. That's what he did. And he got fucked. He got kicked off his team. Probably done in baseball. Dumb shit. But I think you'll appreciate this, guys. I know you don't watch sports anymore, but if you were going to follow sports, this is the guy that you would watch delivering it.
All right.
So here it is. This is Sports Wars.
If there's one thing that people should have learned in dealing with the woke mob over the last several years, when there's backlash, when people are out there trying to cancel you, you should never, ever apologize. Don't bend the knee. Don't pretend like you did something wrong if you have absolutely nothing to apologize for, because it will never be enough. You will never be forgiven. It'll never be okay, and they will just come after you harder and harder and harder. And that's exactly what has happened in the case of former Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Anthony Bass. When the Blue Jays came out there, they made him give this big statement because he shared a video basically coming from a Christian perspective saying, you know what, this is why we should boycott Bud Light. This is why we should boycott Target, because these things don't align with our values. He was labeled a bigot. He was labeled a homophobe. And the Toronto Blue Jays, in basically what looked like a hostage video, put him out there and made him apologize and retract everything. And I'm sure Anthony Bass thought, this is saving my job. It's something I have to do. I'm going to betray everything that I said just to keep my job. But it didn't work. Some people called this. Look at Lauren Chen. Nice hostage video you put there, Blue Jays. Unfortunately, he's going to learn the hard way that capitulation will never satisfy his rainbow captors. And that is absolutely true, because now, just about a week and a half.
His rainbow captors.
His rainbow captor. This guy should, I mean, he for some reason he had the cojones to even step up and say anything
Yeah.
to begin with. But then his nuts shriveled up and he, oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
you know.
He should have told his team, I'm not going to apologize,
Yeah,
let alone.
he's like, this is my beliefs. This is my, how I, go about things. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he's paying the price. Now he's cut.
It's just like, you have your beliefs. I have mine. I respect your beliefs. I don't agree with them, but this is my beliefs. You don't have to agree with my beliefs, but I'm allowed to have these beliefs.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. It says, what are you going to do to
Yeah.
me? Fire, you're fired because we don't like your thoughts.
But again, this is another case of why are you putting it on fucking Twitter or
I
whatever?
agree. I completely agree. Why did you have to make a grand statement about it at all?
Yeah, you know that people are getting fired for this. You're making millions of dollars a year to throw a fucking baseball. Shut the fuck up and collect your money. When you're retired at age 35 or whatever it is and you have nothing to do, then you can be a Twitter asshole. When you have 50 million in the bank. Yeah, it's like, what a dummy. But all right, here we go.
After this, after he came out and basically betrayed his faith in order to make this apology, he's been released. He's been cut by the Blue Jays. He lost his job anyway because there was still backlash. There were still people that were upset. Blue Jays cut pitcher who apologized for sharing video on Bud Light and Target boycotts. The Blue Jays have cut pitcher Anthony Bass just over a week after he apologized for sharing a video on social media that encouraged Christians to boycott Bud Light and Target. The decision was based mostly on performance, yeah, okay, but distraction did play a role, according to Blue Jays manager Ross Atkins.
His performance had no role.
Of course it did. But again, why did he feel compelled to put out some kind of a public statement about it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like just make your fucking money. I mean that's really what it comes down to with these guys that are making more money. I mean, what's he going to do now to make this kind of money? Nothing. You're in that kind of line of work. Shut the fuck up, make your money. That's the biggest fuck you can give. Don't buy Bud Light. There's your solution. Just don't buy it. Idiot. But don't apologize once you've said it. Don't say, "Oh, I really didn't mean it. I wasn't looking at the sensitivity of my teammates."
Yeah, but you took the pains to record a video and put it out.
What are your teammates stakeholders in Bud Light? Shut up about the sensitivity. Which one of your teammates is coming out in a skirt as a trans woman? Which one of your teammates is doing that dumb shit? Fuck off with this nonsense. God, people are so fucking dumb. All right, here we go.
He previously apologized for sharing a video that made a biblical case against spending money to support businesses that are pushing people, particularly children, to darkness. So yeah, the Blue Jays said, of course, it's just performance-based, but of course, distractions did play a part. They were even going to try to do this. Look at this. This came out a few days before. The Blue Jays will have Anthony Bass catch the ceremonial first pitch on Friday to begin their Pride Weekend celebration.
Fuck that. Like a punishment.
Yeah. It's like, well, we're going to throw you right in the middle of the mix just to show you.
Yeah. We're going to put you out there with Sally, a man in a dress. And you could catch the first pitch from Sally. The fuck out of here with this shit. All right, here we go.
Well, looks like that wasn't enough. Looks like these things weren't enough. Done. Cut. Off the team. Anthony Bass took the coward's way out. And what could have happened to Anthony Bass was this happens. You have so many people standing behind him because the Blue Jays released him for his faith, for his Christian faith. That's what this could have been. But instead, Anthony Bass bent the knee. He apologized. He basically betrayed his faith, betrayed everything that he said he stood for in order to offer a fake apology to appease a mob. It didn't work. It backfired. It never is going to work. And now he's out of a job. And all the people who would have been standing behind him think he's a fucking coward for doing what he did. And I get it. I understand. He did this because he thought he had to do it to save his job. Yet at the same time, if there's anything we've learned, you can't apologize. You can't bend the knee. You can't betray what you believe in order to try to appease the woke mob, because it will not work. And now Anthony Bass is finding that out the hard way, losing his job even after he did all of the apology bullshit. Let me know your thoughts about.
Anyway, I think my man Ryan there from Sports Wars is dead on with this.
Yeah. Well, you can't, it's what, we as, the American government anyway, you don't appease terrorists.
Yeah. Yeah, you go by the government saying you don't negotiate with terrorists ever.
Nope.
This is fucking, First Amendment terrorism. Fuck that. This guy, but he's right. This guy would have had all the support in the world if they cut him from all the church people and whatnot would have stood behind him. Now he's just fucked.
Yeah, because he betrayed everybody who he supposedly was representing in his statement.
Yeah. Now you're just fucked.
Yep. So now you don't have any supporters on either side.
That's correct.
Because you offended the LGBTQ 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 X people, and you now offended the people that
the Christians
don't support that kind of stuff.
Yeah, now you said you don't believe in what your Christian thing was.
Right. So now you got nobody.
Yeah, now you're just going to sit home. Now you're going to sit home and think about that 30 million you left on the table by fucking tweeting, you dumb shit. Stupid.
People and their stupid social media.
Yeah.
So as far as social media is concerned, where do you still stand with your social media? Are you still active with that, or do you get involved, or do you make comments, or do you do anything?
I'll make the very occasional comment. Mostly I just use it for promoting what I'm doing. Most of the time, I would say probably 95% of my comments out there are, hey, we're having so-and-so on the show. Or
so you don't get involved with anything outside of the show anymore.
I couldn't give a fuck. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck about the people. Even now, I've, like on my Facebook, I've started accepting friend requests and stuff on my Facebook again, which, as you remember, I stopped doing for a long time. But the first thing I do when I accept them is immediately unfollow them, because I don't want to see them. I don't care that their wife's having a baby or that they're having fucking sushi for dinner or whatever. I just couldn't give a shit. So I unfollow. I let them follow me, because then I promote my shit and then people can watch my shit. But
yeah,
I don't get into politics and stuff like that anymore. Just nah. Because really, truth be told, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about what I think. Fuck them. If they want to comment on what I think, they can do it right here. Because I'm pretty open about what I think. And the door's always open. You can call, you can leave a comment, even if they're bad comments. I still put them up. I don't give a shit.
Right. I agree. Helen Kilcaller, you're on the air.
Oh my goodness. You don't give a shit, Chris? Holy,
I don't.
I didn't even realize that. No, look, this goes back to what you guys were talking about last week. Shucks, who was the sportscaster that decided to I'm making up numbers, but we'll say that 125 million wasn't enough, so went to ESPN for $500 million or some nonsense. Who was that?
Pat McAfee.
Right. Yeah. To me, this is the same thing, which is that I understand where you guys are coming from, which is keep your mouth shut and get your money and get out. But from my perspective, and I'm actually doing this at work, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is, as it would seem. I'm just not going along with this stuff. But the way you do that is you put yourself in a position so that you can say fuck you. So yeah. McAfee was in a position where he could say fuck you, but apparently apparently the 125 million wasn't enough. I don't know the kind of drugs he's doing, but God bless him. But but that's the thing. Like Chris, you and I, we live say 50 miles away from each other. That's the nice thing about Northeast Ohio. You can get a decent house around here for not a lot of money, and then you can say whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
So I got a meeting this week with HR and head of legal because I wouldn't go along with the idea that harassment doesn't include intent in one of the managerial trainings. And I'm going to go right up there and say, yeah, it doesn't. So I don't know, man. I think I swear to you guys, I think we're living in an age bereft of courage. People just need to, because everyone knows this is a bunch of hooey. You just got to get up there and say it.
Hey, easy with the language with that hooey shit.
Well, the nice thing about right now is it does seem like the pendulum is swinging the other way, where there's a lot less backlash for telling people to go fuck themselves. I think people have had enough of woke nonsense, or they're starting to have enough of it. I mean, obviously still this guy got fucked, but I think slowly but surely you're seeing more people that are saying fuck you, and then somebody comes back with, well, you're an ist, and people are like, okay, I really don't care.
Right.
People don't care anymore. I know I don't.
Oh, I certainly haven't. I mean, like in practical terms, I guess, to be fair, so to make the argument for the other side, if you're an employee, I do think it is incumbent on you to solve your employer's problems because that's why you're there. And so when I've had troubles with, or say disagreements, troubles is too harsh a word, when I've had disagreements with my employers in times past, I wouldn't just go to them and say, I think this is a bunch of nonsense. What I would say is, I think this is a bunch of nonsense, and here's a potential solution. And then we can, work our way through that. Now, I don't know if that applies to the fellow on the Blue Jays, but to me, that's really the path forward, which is that, you guys know, employers don't care about you. They're trying to make money, which is fine. And so the way you handle that is you come with a solution which allows you to move forward with respect to your conscience and also solves a problem. Then everybody goes about their business. To me, that's
Well, I agree with you, and I do think that businesses now, they overreach by saying what you say in your personal life has some great effect on what regular people do in their job. The only difference is, I think, with the baseball player is the only reason people are following him on social media is because he's a reflection of that team. People are not following Anthony Bass because he has some great insight. They're following him because he throws strikes for the fucking Blue Jays. So he's a representative, or he was a representative of the team. And unfortunately, when you get into a job that has, that's kind of famous, I guess, you got to kind of toe the line, I guess. And I know these guys all have the morals clauses and everything else, so they should know better. This guy should have known better than to fucking be mouthing off on stupid ass Twitter.
Well, but I guess to me, there's a few answers to that. One is the contractual obligations. So, for instance, like Tucker Carlson, I know that he got bounced from Fox, but I think the original thing that he had going for him, admittedly, this is rumor and hearsay, so don't make me go to court over this, but is that he was just going to stay on payroll for a year or something like that.
Right.
So that's one thing. But I suppose, but to me, here's the much easier thing, and this is why I bring up again Northeast Ohio, not to put a shout out to it, but it's like, again, how much money do you need? It's like if you simply decide, you have to make, I guess at some point in your life, you have to make a decision. Are you going to take the money, or at some point are you going to say the money is enough? I'm going to take a certain amount of money, and then I'm just going to say what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I don't understand with these guys. Like Anthony Bass, he's fired, but do you really believe he's in a soup kitchen somewhere?
Oh, no. Of course not.
Right, exactly. He's got plenty of money. So, say what you got to say. Oh, no, I got fired. Damn it. I've got $100 million. Gee whiz. I don't understand it.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. Although this guy doesn't have millions of dollars. I just looked him up real quick. He's making, well, let's see. How much does he make? I mean, he's not broke either. I'm definitely not saying that he's broke, but in 2023,
You and I, Chris.
oh yeah, he's making more. He's made $10 million in a 15-year career.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, poor guy. I know.
I mean, he has to
Yeah.
live. He has to live on $500,000 a year. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it sucks.
God, yeah, I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah. If he needs a sandwich or something, he can come by.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Hungry, I can eat a gas station sandwich.
That's right.
You can pick it off of Black Belt Ray's floor.
Right?
That's right. Nice.
And that's your 15-year reference. All right,
There you
love
go.
you guys. Yell and kill. Fuck you, pal. Hand job.
There goes
go.
Ian Metal X,
Let's check it in.
one of your customers.
One of my customers.
Yeah, but see, I just to reiterate, if you're gonna make the stand, you need to make the stand and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not gonna stick with it, don't take a stand. Just don't say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but if you're gonna be a public figure and go out there and make some grandiose statement, you can't back off.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, you got it. Like me, Metal X said, you got to just put it out there and say, you know what, I got my money, so fuck off.
Yep, I agree.
Oh well. Well, it's unfortunate for Anthony Bass that he's now unemployed and probably won't work again. 15 years, he ain't gonna get another gig. Too
Maybe.
much backlash now.
Yeah, maybe he'll be a sportscaster on some local station or something somewhere down the road.
Too much backlash. No way.
Well, on a local station, not on a national level, but just
Unless he's gonna call high school baseball, it ain't gonna happen.
I'm not saying it might be high school or college, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
that just
if
sucks.
he's been 15 years in, I'm sure he's made some cash, and you know,
Yeah.
maybe
Go enjoy.
somebody might pick him up. Who knows? But look at what happened to Tim Tebow. That guy could never. Guy could never land a job after you know. Number one, his performance wasn't that great, but number two, they didn't like the controversy he brought with the, you know, kneeling and praying on the sidelines, all that other stuff, you know,
Yeah.
because he wore his religion on his sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Look, even though we hate this guy, Colin Kaepernick, same way. Never could get back in the league.
It's because he was too controversial.
Yeah.
He
People wouldn't buy tickets if he signed.
Yeah, because he drew too much attention to himself through his, you know, his polarizing, what do you want to call, celebrity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But it was because of racial reasons people wouldn't hire Colin.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the reason.
Fuck Colin Kaepernick. Fucking piece of shit.
All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break and then we'll get into the sponsored segment.
All right. Well, since you brought it up and people have fun with this, this comes from the Opie and Anthony show with the departed Steve Carlisi with his Foundry Music
All right.
with the Pendulum song.
Nice.
It swings the other way.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. People have asked about this. What's that pendulum thing that you guys always talk about? What's that song?
Yeah, well, there it is.
Well, this is from Opie and Anthony. It was Steve Carlisi who was their producer. He had a band called Foundry Music,
Yep.
and they had a song called Pendulum.
Yep.
So we're going to play that, and we'll dedicate this to the people who are, you know, not bowing to the rainbow terrorists.
Right.
All right, here it is. It's Foundry Music with Pendulum exclusively here.
On your classic metal show.